everyone, it's James, and you know I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the mod barrel when I start to revisit mods I've already done to either upgrade or change them. And that's exactly what I was doing. And I got like halfway through this and I thought, you know, I should make a video about this because there's a great opportunity coming up for me to explain to everyone how the Winnebago pump switches work. It's not wired like a regular switch. It's not at all like you think of a switch. And so that factors into some of the mods that I'm reworking out in the RV. So let's go out and I'll show you where I'm at. Okay, so these are all water pump projects, and in the Winnebago Echo, the water pump is here under the driver's side bed in the back, and it's really cramped back here. I can't even fit my shoulders in there to work. But anyway, first project, or upgrade, I guess, is I've upgraded to the IRV WPC2. So now, if you remember, I did, maybe like it's been a year and a half ago, we installed the IRV WPC. It stands for Intelligent RV Water Pump Controller. It does two things that I really like, and I've liked it all this time. First, it regulates the flow from the water pump so that if you turn on a really low flow, you don't get that pulsing, rattling when the pump kicks on and off. That's one thing. And then the second thing is it's got some safety features in it. Like if we leave our pump turned on for more than an hour, this will shut it off. And also, if the pump is running dry for like 60 seconds, this will shut it off. So it's got some water pump protection features in there as well. Now, I had installed the IRV WPC. The second generation, I guess we'll call it, is much simpler to install. So if you were put off by the thought of making water pump connections and wiring before, it's much easier now. So much easier to install. I've got it already wired in, and the simpler connections were a little bit of a benefit for me because of the next project I'm about to do. But let me finish installing this and getting that tidied up, and then we'll show you the second project, which has to do with a pump switch and the sea level panel that I installed recently. All right. So the IRV WPC2 is installed. If you haven't seen the video that we did a year, 2 years ago on the IRV WPC, I'll try to put it in like a box or something if I can do that YouTube thing where you make another video pop. Take a look at it. It's a really nice upgrade to your RV's water pump, and we've been very happy with it for 2 years. We'll have links in the YouTube and on the Fit RV, whatever. Okay, getting that tidied up was essential for the second part of what I want to do, and that's back up front by the sea level panel. So, if you remember, I also recently, this will be the third time I've gone into this panel, I've also recently upgraded our sea level panel. So now we have the Bluetooth enabled model, and that's been working great. We've enjoyed that, but it has a pump switch, and I would like for this pump switch to work. Now, it didn't work when I first installed it, but I realized that if we pull wires out, when I installed the sea level panel originally, I ran a 4-wire bundle all the way back to the water pump. Well, I only used 3 of them, which means I have an extra wire that I can use up here at the pump switch. And that is going to work out just fine because of the way that Winnebago wires up their pumps. And now this is the part where you should pay attention because it's splainy. So the way Winnebago water pump switches work, they don't work like a regular switch, like a light switch, like off, on, where you're switching something that's directly connected to the pump. It doesn't work that way. They do this so to make it easy for them to wire up pump switches in multiple locations. So the way it works is with this little gizmo here, and this is this thing, you'll find it near your water pump most likely. It's got 4 connections on it. It's a Precision Circuits multi-point switch. So 2 things about it that are a little unusual. First is to switch it, there's one connection on here, this first one called switch, and if you just toggle that one, if you basically short it to ground for just like, you know, a fraction of a second, it will toggle the water pump on, off, on, off. It'll keep going like that, but it's just a momentary connection to ground that you make on this switch output. So what that means for Winnebago is they just take this one wire, and it can be very small because it's not carrying any current. It's not actually powering the pump. So they take this one rather small wire. They can run to anywhere in the coach, and all they've got to do is find a local ground near to wherever they are, ground that wire, and they've only had to run one small wire, and now the pump can be switched from that location. Cool, right? The other thing about it that's a little weird is that this water pump, they're switching the ground, the negative. They're switching not the positive side of the 12 volts. They're switching the negative side. And so we're basically, this last connection is the load, and that's what's switched. It's breaking the ground. So the pump, like the 12 volt wire to the pump, has power all the time, but it has nowhere to go. It never completes a circuit back to ground because they're switching the ground. So those two things are very important if you're going to do any kind of water pump project like I'm about to do. So what this means for me and my sea-level water pump switch is that all I've got to do is take a wire, can be a small wire. Lo and behold, I ran a 4-wire bundle and I've got one unused wire in there, bingo, up to where the panel is, and then ground that out locally, and there's a ground for the sea-level panel. And then if I do that, it should switch the pump. Now, powering the light for the pump, that's a different story altogether, because the light on the sea-level panel wants, you have to have a positive 12 volt connection, and we're switching is the negative. I haven't figured out how to get around that one yet. But for right now, we're just going to wire up the pump switch itself. So first thing that I need to do is here, come on in here. So this tiny little wire, I didn't leave myself a whole lot of slack. This tiny green wire right here that I got my thumb on there, that is the other end of the green wire that runs all the way up to where the sea-level switch is. So what I've got to do is I've got to take this and I've got to put it in parallel with this switch connection here. And that should be easy to do because as part of installing the IRVWPC2, I put a Wago connector on it. So I just have to take where did it go? I had one sitting right here. A 3-connection Wago connector. And put it in place of this 2, and I can add another wire in. So I need to extend that green wire, and then it'll go right into here. Then all I've got to do is ground out the green wire on the other end up by the sea-level panel, and it should switch the pump. Hopefully this is making sense. If not, just wait until the end and watch the pump work. Okay. That ought to be enough. I've really started liking this silicone jacketed wire. It's very, very flexible. It's not stiff. And that's like the hardest part about doing wiring projects a lot of times, is actually physically getting the wire where you want it. And so the super flexible wire, I am rather enjoying. One. It's not quite long enough. There we go. And then on this end, all right, now I am going to have to strip the other end of that tiny. Okay. Now, white wire into there. Okay. I'll reconnect that later. Now we're back at the sea-level panel. Sea-level pump switch. And these are the 2 connections on the pump switch that I need to make. These 2. These are normally open, and then when you hit the switch, beep, they close momentarily, which is what you want for the Winnebago pump switch. You want just a momentary switch, and that's these 2 terminals right here. So one of them needs to be connected to ground, which in this case is right here. And then the other one needs to be connected to the green wire, which I guess I need another little piece of wire. All right, let me go make up 2 pieces of wire, and with terminals on this end, and then the Wago connector. All right, 2 pieces of wire coming up. Something in my drawer beeping? Yes, something in my drawer is beeping. Okay. There we go. All right, so we're going to connect these 2 wires that I just made up, the red and the black. And I don't know that it really matters which is which because it's normally open. So we've got one connected there and one connected there. Okay? Ta-da. Okay. Now, the grounded one, we're going to, oh, that came right off. I don't know that I like that. That's not tight enough. And that's too tight. There's something wrong here. All right, well, despite all my rummaging, I do not see, these are 1/4 inch, that's the width of the tab, 1/4 inch electrical connectors, and the ones on the tiny switch are 3/16 inch. And so these are a little loose. I'll order some more. It's not like these will work, they'll just be a little loose, and I'll just replace them at a later date because all I have to do to replace them is pull out the sea level panel again, and that's pretty easy. I don't have to go all in where all the pump is because that was quite a bit of disassembly. Anyway, we're going to move forward with these just as they are, even though they're not making the best connections, but we should still be able to demonstrate the pump turning on and off. So, be nice. Be nice. There you go. Okay, make sure this still works. Still works. Okay, now, let's just expose these 2. What we should see is that if I touch these together, the pump should go on. Now the pump's over there, so you'll probably hear it, but here we go. Oh, come on. All right, stop. Okay, it was getting pretty late last night, and what should have worked, touching the 2 wires together to turn the pump on and off, didn't, and I pretty quickly realized why, and I also realized I didn't want to deal with it right then. So when I ran the wire, I had to cut the wire in order to splice in the terminal strips that are on the sea level. So there's a cut in the wire, and since the wire is cut, it's not making a connection all the way back to under where the pump is. So I've uncovered it. I just need to go and reconnect that wire. So all it's going to take to do that is a wire stripper that will work in an environment where I can't really use 2 hands, and a Wago connector. And I've got some other screwdrivers and stuff just to see to help me get it done. But this is, I think, is going to do it. So here we go. All right, here, give me that. You're not going to be able to get in here. All right, so here, these right there. That big bundle of connectors with the tape on it and whatever, that is where the wire is cut. And I can even see the end of the green wire on that one right there. So I have to reconnect that. Now, obviously, going to be a little bit difficult to try to film in there, but that's what we're going to do. So here we go. Okay, I think I got it reattached. Hit that pump switch. It's kind of a wonky connection, but no, well, not that one. That one's going to work. The new one on the sea level. Yes! Pump is on. Hit it again. Pump is off. All right, cool. Let me clean up here and then we'll wrap up. So that's working. So getting back around to what I wanted to show y'all in this video, and that's how to wire up a Winnebago pump switch. And it's not normal. You remember that it's switching the negative side. That doesn't need to concern you so much for adding a switch. But what you do need to know for adding a switch is you find that that connector on that. Remember the little box, the box with the 4 connectors on it. It looks sort of like this, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 male quick connects on it. This one, I think it's the very first one, called switch. It'll be labeled. All you have to do, and there'll be something connected to it. All you have to do is take this and ground it out. anywhere in your RV. It doesn't have to be the same ground that this is. This has a ground. I think it's this one. Doesn't have to be on the same circuit. You just have to ground that out momentarily anywhere in your RV, and that will toggle the pump on and off, on and off, on and off. These can all be connected in parallel, so there can be one, you know, at pump location A, one at pump switch location B, et cetera, et cetera. They can all be in parallel, but that's all you have to do is dump it to ground. Okay, so that's it really. Wiring up a Winnebago pump switch, not that hard once you know what you're doing. It's not like a normal switch, but you just have, once you ground out that switch contact anywhere in the RV, you've got a pump switch. And do remember that if you want to get the light working, the Winnebago pump switch, it switches the negative on the pump, and so you can't necessarily use that to power a light. That's why I didn't mess with the light. I'll figure that out for another day. Anyway, there'll be a post over on the Fit RV with links to some tools and stuff. I'll put it in the description down below in YouTube. And I guess that's going to do it. This is James, Fit RV. See you later. Bye.